You're not just making real estate for the sake of making real estate.
Do you see a future where people living within a city might prefer a serviced apartment over a regular apartment?
This is still not been settled as a gray area, and there are lots of fights about it. So I think it's becoming a big thing. Everything has its negative things.
Of course.
So I'm not denying that. But
Welcome back to another episode of Prop Sutra with Balaji Rao. Prop Sutra is presented to you by Prop News Time. This week, we get into part 1 of a series on serviced real estate. Today, we'll be talking about serviced real estate in the residential sector. Welcome to the show, sir.
thank you.
What are the different levels of property as a service?
Well, to take a step back, there are various new aspects of real estate in the current decade which we see. Unlike conventional real estate, where you build something, whether it's a flat, apartment, villa, office, warehouse, and you sell it off. And that's the end of it. Or at the best, there's a landlord who rents it out to an actual user. I think the new dimensions of real estate are threefold, in my opinion. There is the financialization of real estate, which you're all seeing, where you don't have to buy actual physical assets, but you can buy a proxy asset by way of paper instruments. You see the digitization of real estate, where land records, approvals, designs, construction, all these can be more and more digitized and fast-tracked. And finally, you see serviced real estate, which I would like to term as property as a service.
Okay.
You understand? Just like you have software as a service in the IT industry. And recently, even in the EV car business, electric vehicles, you have battery as a service, as one of the car manufacturers has recently advertised.
Yes.
So I think property as a service has come of age.
Okay.
And that is nothing but service real estate, which basically means you're not just making real estate for the sake of making real estate. It's a good, it's a commodity, it's an asset, but you're also seeing what is its functional utility and seeing whether you can get into those services also.
Okay.
Correct? So what does it mean? There are 3 levels I can put it across. Say at a level 1, will I just need 4 walls and a floor and a ceiling?
Right.
You understand? That's of not really used. That's like the caveman habitat or dwelling or mentality.
Yes.
Correct? So we require furniture.
Yes.
We require something more than that.
Right.
So you start trying to figure out what do they require.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So that's where you start giving some sort of amenities, So you have all these coming up where you're trying to put together whether it is going to be fully furnished or semi-furnished. Earlier, it was just, everybody had their own ways of just doing flooring, ceiling, your windows, doors, and maybe not electrical, maybe the toilets and the bathrooms, but not the kitchen. Today, everybody has, in that whole spectrum, they try and do something.
Right.
But in a real service real estate, you should be doing the whole enchilada.
Okay.
Brown goods, white goods, curtains, whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay? So it is there just for you to move in, like in a hotel room.
Okay.
So that's really level 1, you can say.
Okay.
Okay? At a level 2,
Yes.
he says, okay, I moved in, but this is not a hotel. What if I want to order food?
Right.
What if I want my clothes laundered?
Right.
What if I need somebody to clean the room?
Right.
So there are a lot of other things which come up. And also, more importantly than that, somebody might say, look, I like to go to a gym. I like to exercise. I like to go for a swim. I like to go for a walk.
Right.
So the next level which came up for most of the builders is, can you give in a project such amenities
Yes.
that occupant doesn't need to really go out of the complex?
Okay. Everything is within.
Everything is within. So you have lovely so-called projects which have all encompassing amenities.
Right.
So it's like an oasis in the
Right.
midst of chaos or traffic, So you come in and you have your pools, you have your pool tables, you can have your cafes, you can have sometimes amphitheaters, you'll have indoor theaters. So you have everything you can think of.
Right.
And these run into 10s and 20s and 50 amenities also.
Correct.
So that's level 2 where you're telling a person that, look, you don't have to take a club membership separate.
Right.
You bought a house,
Yes.
you got everything in the house, and you also have all the amenities
Right.
if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. At the highest level,
Yes.
he starts giving you people to service.
Okay.
So you're saying, I want room service. Can somebody from the cafe downstairs bring it up to you? I want to do in-house dining.
Right.
Okay. Do you have a laundry service which will pick up my clothes every day?
Right.
Do you have a janitor or a housekeeper who will come and clean up my rooms?
Right.
You understand? So you're nearing more and more towards a hotel.
Okay.
Okay. So it is nothing but a long stay hotel if you look at it.
Correct.
So we had serviced apartments, serviced hotels, and now you're getting into service real estate where especially people who are single, students, senior living, there are certain niches,
Right.
pockets who definitely would like to have that.
Correct.
Because
Yes.
it saves them a lot of labor, trouble, cumbersome practices of trying to negotiate, wait for the servant or
Right.
wait for this amenity. So I think it's becoming a big thing.
Okay.
And I feel the future will belong to property as a service.
Okay.
So this is just in the residential space. If you look at it, it can go into the commercial space also, where earlier we used to just do what we would call base shell
Yes.
and leave all the facilities at the main door. Today you do warm shells.
Right.
You're doing inside ducting, AC,
Yeah.
the flooring, the ceiling. And at a higher level, the highest level, you're doing plug and play.
Right.
You understand? So you're getting into plug and play where even the desks and workstations are there.
Correct.
And if somebody wants it even more, which is what is co-working spaces, you're even giving the people. That's the last level anyway.
Right.
Because you have then now the pantry support,
Yes.
the janitorial support, even secretarial support in all
Yes.
these co-working spaces.
Right.
So you literally have to come with your core team and your files to start working.
Understood.
You understand?
Yes.
So I think that's happening in every asset class of real estate, and property as a service, as I would like to call it, is going to be a real big thing in the next 10 years.
Can plotted developments be considered property as a service?
Of course, because see, initially when people would buy land,
Yes.
okay, so you'd go somewhere and buy land,
Mm-hmm.
you maybe would check the title, and then you would have to go through the hassles of getting it done,
Right.
built up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then your security is yours. You have to ensure you got the power, the water, the sewage disposal. Everything is your headache, correct?
Right.
But today, if you look at a plotted development layout, what people are selling,
Yes.
the developer says, look, I have taken 50 acres, 20 acres, 100 acres, whatever the size of the plotted development project is.
Yeah.
And I have made everything available to you.
Right.
The internal roads, okay? And he gets you the power, water, the sewage disposal lines, the stormwater drainage right up to your plot,
Right.
okay? And he can also go further, just like I said, in different levels. He can also say we have a clubhouse
Right.
where you have the pool and the amenities and the cafes. So even if you come and stay here, you really might not need to cook. You can come there and eat like a resort.
Right.
Okay. And then he can even go further to say, I can build the villa for you. Here are my designs. If you want to customize it, my architect will help you and I'll construct it for you.
Right.
So he is giving you an all comprehensive service where you're just sitting and deciding what customization you want.
Right.
And you're not breaking your head about security or power or water, or if you go there, who is going to keep the house clean, or, he will tell you, fine, we have a janitorial service. We can send them over. He'll clean up the house for you
Right.
even before you come. He
Yes.
can stock up your fridge. So you are getting all these services now.
Right. So, well, I mean, when people are looking to buy houses, if I look at apartments for a minute, the newer complexes with all these added amenities are charging more. There is a maintenance charge also that is higher. As a prospective buyer, how do I budget? How much more does it make sense to pay for a project with these added services?
See, the question is the added services will be of three types, in
Right.
my opinion, what you have to see. The first and foremost on which you have very little control are property taxes.
Okay.
So most people have to understand when they come into a newer building, newer complexes with latest amenities, the property tax rates are higher.
Okay.
The ready reckoner values are higher. So overall, you pay higher property tax.
Okay.
That's a given.
Right.
Whether
Yes.
the second are all the common area maintenance,
Right.
what we would call as a CAM, whether you're keeping your podiums clean, whether you're keeping your staircase clean, whether you're taking AMCs for your elevators.
Right.
So that's all the common area maintenance which everybody has to pay.
Right.
Now, when you have something which is far more expensive, is naturally going to be a little bit more expensive in that common area maintenance. If you have expensive elevators, for example,
Yes.
your AMCs are also expensive.
Right.
You understand? So, and if you have a large driveway, you have a huge podium, you have a recreational garden, naturally it's expensive to maintain. You have gardeners and everything.
Yes.
And depending upon the project size, it gets split
Right.
amongst the number of users. Okay? So that's also going to be higher. But if the project is larger,
Right.
then generally that tends to be far more reasonable.
Okay.
Okay. Then comes the third aspect of it, which is basically the amenities charges.
Right.
That I have a pool, I have maybe even a billiards table, I have a squash court. So these are additional amenities which are being given. In my opinion, most of these amenities should be as per usage.
Charges as per
As per usage. Steam, sauna, health club facilities, gyms, all these should be as per usage. That means you sign up, of course, it'll be subsidized because the real estate is free.
Yes.
Okay. The equipment have also been provided by the builder.
Right.
So somebody is just maintaining it and charging the users for it.
Correct.
Rather than load it on everyone.
Right.
But this is still not been settled. It's a gray area. And there are lots of fights about it because somebody will say swimming pool at least should be maintained by everyone.
Right.
I don't know. I don't agree. I feel the users should maintain it.
Okay.
Or if there are not enough users, shut it down. Do something else with it.
Right.
You understand? Because if the users don't maintain it, just because there are 500 other flats,
Yes.
but he never uses the billiard table or the steam and sauna, he'll wonder, why am I paying for it?
But there might be an argument why buy into a building with those amenities if you don't intend to use them.
Because he's not being able to tell, because he likes the location and the rest of it. He can't tell someone, you remove your billiard table, then I'll buy it.
Fair.
So he has to go as per the majority. So the way out of it is pay it as per usage. No?
Right.
You understand? And if nobody is using it, then the majority is defeated to accept that the billiard table should be turned into some bingo hall or something. No?
Correct. Now, serviced apartments have been patronized largely by long-stay corporate executives, by people that are relocating. Do you see a future where people living within a city might prefer a serviced apartment over a regular apartment?
See, as I said, it has its niche target segments. Okay. Like for a single living, okay, it's very useful.
Right.
Because for them to be really getting into the hassles of a maid, giving a key to someone, getting someone to cook for you all the time, it is a hassle.
Right.
Okay. Or when you're traveling. So they would prefer it.
Right.
Okay. Similarly, if there's co-living arrangement, then everybody is usually a single and again they would prefer it. Similarly, if you see student housing, again, students would not want to get hassled by everything.
Right.
Okay. Then you have the senior living.
Yes.
They might not need assistance.
Right.
But they don't want the least hassles.
They may be different sort of assistance and help.
Yeah. In the sense that I don't have to worry whether the maid will come today to clean the house or not. Somebody will come.
Right.
You understand? So there are these target segments, and then naturally the most lucrative target segment are short stays. I've come to a city to do something, consultancy work for 3 months.
Right.
I'd rather be in a service department than in a hotel, usually.
Right.
Okay? It's more reasonable, it's more homely also.
Mhm.
We can say so. So there are these attractive segments which come towards the serviced real estate.
Okay.
Now, even if you're married, today, most of in the metropolitan cities, you're seeing the phenomena of double income.
Right.
So both the parents are working or the couple, both of them are working.
Yes.
In which case, again, this becomes a big issue,
Right.
you know. So I would think that more and more people would choose property as a service. So suppose I want a laundry service or even a dhobi, for example.
Right.
I would rather if the project has somebody, or like say even a guy who does your ironing, the istri wala. There's so many buildings which give a sort of a small space to the istri wala because everybody in the building gains.
Yes.
You give it on a hanger, you get it back in a hanger, and there's a lot of flexibility.
Correct.
He doesn't come at a particular time. You can give it whenever you want. He'll give it. You can pick it up from him.
Yes.
So everybody wants those sort of services slowly added.
Right.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to negotiate on an individual basis
Absolutely.
with each and every service provider.
Right.
Okay. So I think you are looking at a situation where people will be willing to pay more because you're making their life more comfortable
Right.
and more convenient.
Right.
So it need not necessarily become more efficient, maybe,
Okay.
but maybe not also, because you might not get the best quality of service which you think that you would have got
Right.
if you had picked up. Like, give you an example. If you look at homemakers and they go to buy vegetables, you might assume you can pick up the best tomatoes from the market and cut it and make it into a salad.
Right.
Whereas somebody might go into a supermarket and already buy some sliced and diced carrots or beans
Right.
because they're okay with it. Maybe the quality, but overall, I think it will satisfy the need.
Your basic requirements will
Yes.
be taken
So
care of.
I think what is needed is for associations, cooperative societies, residents associations to come together and create these facilities
Okay.
that can provide services
Right.
to all its users and occupants.
Well, to shift a little then into student housing and co-living, student housing being for a slightly younger population, what sort of services should companies consider adding for co-living? For student housing.
No, in student housing, what is most required, in my opinion, is in today's world, you require damn good bandwidth,
Right.
Wi-Fi, because most of them are on the thing. You require quieter places like library halls, where people can sit together and read or do their research where you're not disturbed.
Right.
Okay. You require a 24/7 sort of a cafe, which gives them
Yes.
some sort of coffee or beverage or a cold drink or a sort of sandwiches or something.
Yeah.
So you require certain specific things when it comes to students to help them through their sort of a way of life, style of life, if I can say so.
Right.
So it is just a tweaking, just like I think senior living have their own tweaks as well as student housing has its own tweaks.
Co-living companies focus on the community living aspect. They have a lot of events. They do a lot to foster a sense of community. What are your thoughts on that?
See, I feel the question comes with urbanization. When you have migration from the smaller towns, tier 2, tier 3 cities into the bigger towns,
Yes.
then you have a lot of singles who are looking for friendship, who are looking for companionship. So when you create a community sort of a thing,
Right.
today you will see it in residential, you also see it in commercial sometimes, in co-working spaces. You're creating a sort of an ecosystem where people who are like-minded can meet each other, exchange ideas, views, get to know each other, become friends. So I think co-living will work to a large extent at the singles level.
Okay.
Okay. And today I find in the bigger metropolitan cities, marriages are being delayed. It's no
Yes.
more early 20s, mid 20s, it's becoming late 20s, early 30s.
Yes.
So if the marriages are getting delayed, that means you're seeing that there's a window where a person is working and for the next 5 to 10 years, he or she might be single.
Right.
And if he or she might be single, they still want to mingle.
Yes.
And that mingling is what you're allowing. So, sure, you can go on dating apps or you can, but it's not very easy always.
Yeah.
From figuring out whom you want to date or whom you want to be with, then somebody who is in your complex,
Correct.
who is exercising with you,
Yeah.
whom you might be playing a game of squash with.
Yes.
So it's a far better environment to be with.
Yeah.
So will co-living come up as a segment? Yes. Is it a positive segment? Yes. Will there be negative fallout? Everything has its negative things.
Of course.
So I'm not denying that. But within a secure environment of a project or a building or a complex, to meet people is far more safer
Right.
than when you try to meet them outside your work and home environments.
But it's like a working woman's hostel without the restrictions of a hostel, like in a sense.
A working women's hostel was the first step, but it was more working women
Then men, yes.
because they you wanted them to be secure.
Right.
You wanted to feel secure.
Yes.
Co-living might not be able to give you that security, but it does have security if something
Right.
really serious happens.
Yes.
Okay. And of course, it throws up much more because working women hostel were always just the basic hostels
Right.
at a very reasonable price.
Yes.
So in a co-living, it's far more expensive and they throw in far more facilities and amenities. So yes, that was the first basic step.
But as a woman, would you recommend, if I'm worried about safety, I'm not a very adventurous sort of person, is it worth paying that extra amount and living in a co-living space rather than trying to take a place on my own?
It depends upon your mindset. Many people are very private. They have their own quirks. And so they say, look, I can't share an apartment with someone.
Right.
Okay. So those people will not really get into co-living. Okay. And those people might even find it difficult to get married because that time also you have to share it with someone.
Yes.
Okay. But if you're okay to share,
Right.
okay, you can still have your own space in co-living.
Okay.
So, yes, I agree when you come into a drawing room or the dining room or in the kitchen, it's common or the balcony, but you have your room and you might even have your attached bathroom in some of the cases. So, you do have your own space in a way. And I think the concept of sharing starts at a very early age based on what sort of family nurturing you had, whether you had siblings and you shared things with them.
Right.
And then sometimes if you're definitely been in a hostel, you know how to share.
Yeah.
You really don't have everything, exclusive to yourself.
Correct.
But for some people who might be quirky or who might suffer from, let's say, an OCD,
Yes.
then for them it becomes extremely difficult to be in co-living. But that's the fringe. I believe if you're talking to the majority,
Yes.
I would assume they would like co-living.
Okay. I want to talk to you about senior living. How is senior living different from an old age home?
See, if you get into senior living, there are 3 categories in senior living.
Okay.
Okay. At the first category,
Yes.
it is just pure senior living where you don't need any assistance.
Okay.
Okay. This is ideal for anyone, say above 40, 50, 60, whatever you want, whenever you want to retire. Somebody might say at 50, somebody might say at 60, where you get a lot of amenities which benefit you. Maybe it's clean air, it's further away from the city, maybe there's a walking track. All you need is just a bit of assistance. You understand? So it's not that you're completely fit.
Right.
Okay. So that's the senior living as we know it.
Right.
Then there's a concept of assisted living, where for whatever reason I have handicaps.
Okay.
Okay. The handicaps are mental or it can be physical.
Right.
So I need people to help me. If I have a mental handicap, for example, I might not remember what medicines I'm taking.
Right.
Okay. So I might need an attendant to come and tell me that these are your morning medicines, you have to take it.
Right.
And you haven't taken it yet, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Correct? Or if I have a physical handicap,
Yeah.
I might need to go places in a wheelchair or sometimes.
Correct.
Okay. So that's called assisted living,
Right.
where you will have attendants and your quarters will help you a little bit to navigate your handicaps.
Right.
Whether you are diabetic or whether you need medicines, whether you need interventions,
Right.
sometimes you might need dialysis.
Yes. Yeah.
Then finally, there's a third stage, which is not very pleasant to talk about. These are the hospices,
Right.
where you're in a very critical stage and this is your last lap. Okay. Where you require complete support. You might be completely bedridden, or you might have completely lost your mind.
Right.
So that requires far more intensive
Care and
care.
services.
So senior living is used all for three,
Okay.
but generally there are these three different types
Okay.
which we see. Even abroad, if you see,
Right.
there are three different categories. And people move from one category to the other based at which stage of life they're in.
Okay. In India, we have strong family values. At least so far, that's been the case, which is why people are always in two minds about senior living, assisted living, because the common expectation is your parents live with you. But do you see that changing? Do you see a growing
It
demand?
has already changed.
Okay.
See, because you might find a job or your profession or your business might be elsewhere. No?
Yes.
See, as soon as you see migration,
Yeah.
urbanization, the whole country, the whole world becomes your oyster, what we call.
Right.
So, why should a child stymie his career growth
Right.
just to be close to his parents? Yes, he has an obligation,
Yes.
but that obligation need not always be physical, mental, emotional, financial, everything.
Right.
Okay. So he might be able to support them. He might be able to talk to them today. He might be able to visit them more regularly. That's okay. So he might want to see his parents also in a better place where they have like minded people to make friends with or to have
Yes.
companionship.
Yeah.
You understand? So I think it is changing in that respect.
Okay.
So I don't think we should get into the emotional blackmail of things
Right.
for a parent to say, look, I looked after you as a child, so now you look after me as an adult.
Yes.
That won't be entirely correct. You understand? And it will really stifle the growth of your own children.
Right.
So, in a changed environment, I think people will be quite happy sometimes to go back to their hometowns or to the cities which they like, or to be far further away from the city, to be having a more pristine environment, cleaner environment, better for their health, rather than just say, look, I want my child and my children to be all like in my orbit only.
Right.
And today, with all these telecommunications, you can literally talk to your grandchildren, your children,
Yes.
So
in a way, it's like saying senior care, you're handing it over to professionals through these serviced properties, and you're just your relationship with your child is more emotional and you're not so physically dependent on them. Gives you the opportunity to do that.
Agreed, but emotional support can also happen from your friend, no?
Yes, yeah, with the community living. Yes,
And see, don't forget, whatever a parent might say, assume the parent has worked for 30 years.
yes,
Okay, now he's retired.
yes,
For 30 years, he had other friends. Na?
yes,
He was not only friends with his children and going out with them every weekend. Na?
absolutely.
So when he had other friends, so why not have other friends even after 60?
Yeah.
Why do I take a U-turn and say, no, after 60, you all come back? Because my other friends have all gone.
Correct. In the South, you have, without naming any builders, there are some projects where there's a senior living quarter, and then there are regular residential quarters. Similarly, for special children, there are projects that have certain amenities that support children with special needs, and you have regular residential quarters. What are your thoughts on projects like that?
See, it's a good idea, but remember, these projects will be further away from the city because the larger area you require for providing, they will move away from the city centers.
Right.
So somebody is sacrificing something.
Right.
So if I have a child with a special need and this sort of a house looks better for me, then I'm sacrificing that I'll commute every day, or my son, who is a normal person, will commute every day, even though he might not be differently able. So I feel if somebody makes a sacrifice, it's very good.
Yes.
You understand? So it's a sort of a halfway there.
Right.
You understand? So there's nothing wrong with it as a concept.
Mm-hmm.
But finally, in the world at large, I think it'll become more clear that who is going to stay with you and who will be able to support you.
Right.
And there it'll become more and more professionals,
Right.
which will be doing it.
Yeah.
If not robots in the future.
Yes. So in a way, you have your serviced properties in urban centers that cater more for single individuals. These are in your central business districts. And then you have, again, serviced properties that are on the outskirts that cater to people who are maybe not fully employed.
I don't think you can categorize it that way. I think it's across the spectrum.
Okay.
It depends on what sort of services. And as I told you, the services are of three types.
Yes.
What is internal to your flat? Was it external to your flat? And then what is it with people?
Common amenities.
You understand? So I think anywhere you can have all three.
Right.
Like if it's a very luxurious tower, for example, you might have all three in the city center.
Yes. Yeah.
So it depends on where it is and how you're developing that project.
Right. My last question for this segment would be, I'm a landlord. How do I look at turning my property and giving it added services?
See, as a landlord, you might not be able to go to the level 3 or level 2 also.
Okay.
Because the landlord is in charge of his own unit.
Correct.
So he can only do it to level 1.
Right.
Which is he can fully furnish it and work out the economics. Usually he'll find it will be beneficial for him.
Right.
Because his yield will go up.
Right.
From a 2 to 3% yield, it might jump to 4-5% also. So he might double his yield sometimes.
Okay.
By putting it fully furnished. So I think a landlord can go up to level 1.
Yes.
The level 2 will depend on which project his flat is. If level 2 is already there and he does level 1, then he's naturally gone up to level 2.
Correct.
Level 3 is again dependent totally on the project.
Right.
He might not be able to do level 3 on his own.
So essentially, if I'm looking to purchase a property and put it out on rent as an investment, then I should be looking for projects with as many amenities as possible.
That's your target segment.
What do you mean?
See, then you're targeting, as I said, all these fully serviced. It's not that everybody takes it. No?
Yes. Yeah.
A couple with 2 children might not want it. No?
Correct. Yes.
So if your target segment is co-living, student housing, senior living, people who would prefer to be fully serviced, then yes.
So that's the obvious advantage of maybe trying to take an apartment and turning it into a serviced property. Any word of caution you would give a landlord?
He has to maintain it and he has to ensure that his tenants are also maintaining it.
Okay.
So you have to have a regular sort of a supervision of it.
Okay.
Because if they trash it, then your economics will go haywire.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
That's a wrap for this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for regular notifications. If there's something you'd like to hear us talk about, do let us know in the comment section below. Until next week, thank you so much for tuning in.